Hello, ho, ho, folks. I'm Reverend Dee Lifeguard. This is my fortress of mental illness. Welcome to the only news that matters. Special shout out to Barefoot, which was a person I knew on my old Twitter account, because they're the ones who recommended that I do this episode, which I guess that would have been all the way back in November of 2021. Anyways, I'm finally getting around to it. And today's topic is numerology. According to Wikipedia, numerology is a pseudoscientific and pseudo-mathematical belief in the divine or mystical relationship between a number and one or more coinciding events. Also defined as the study of numerical values of letters in words, names, and ideas. So basically, numerology is like yoga or chaos magic or horoscopes. It's essentially bullshit unless you believe in it. Then of course, it's not bullshit. I'm sure you've all heard of the Pythagorean theorem. A squared plus B squared equals C squared. And that mathematical equation is inherently true according to my high school geometry and algebra teachers. Even if I did happen to fail algebra on 3 separate occasions, that's not the important part. The point is, this equation was invented or discovered, or whatever the terminology is, by this Greek guy from ancient Greek times named Pythagoras. He ran a cult called the Pythagoreans, and they mixed sacred geometry, ancient masonry, maths, and Dionysus-style rituals in combination with their own version of numerology. And that version of numerology is actually still practiced today, and it's called Pythagorean numerology. Basically, math was their religion. Anyone who went to public schools knows that there are still nerds out there just as religiously fanatic about math as the Pythagoreans. While later mathematicians in history dropped the religious aspect of these ancient Greek math cults, they kept the devotion to math. And many of the mathematical equations and formulas
were kept and are still used,
which were discovered by the ancient fanatical math nerd cult leaders. Because if there's one thing that math nerds are good at, it's math. Mathematicians even play around with numerology today as fun brain exercises to get kids excited about math. So, people are still pretty cultish about maths, and they're actually indoctrinating our children into getting into math. Hell, there's even numerology all throughout the Bible. The mark of the beast, 666, is now thought to be an ancient Hebrew numerology game, also known as Gematria. They were playing that game with the initials of the Emperor Nero. I'm not going to get into all that here, but many biblical scholars now agree that the Book of Revelations are just the ramblings of this early Christian dude who was super anti-Nero because Nero banished John the Revelator from Rome for preaching about Jesus or whatever. There are plenty of other examples of numerology throughout the Bible and other Abrahamic religious texts, as well as non-Abrahamic religious texts, that blatantly include numerology. When I was a kid, there was this big TV special called The Bible Code. The Bible Code claimed that using a numerological equation, numerology, on the words of the Bible, they could predict the future. And they backed up their claims by showing this equation, showing how it worked, and then showing that this code had already predicted so many things that happened throughout history, like Princess Diana dying, or JFK and RFK both being assassinated, or both world wars, etc., etc. And that was all fine and dandy and pretty cool. Until the Bible code thing was done by a group of researchers on the book of Moby Dick. Statistically, I guess that makes sense because they're using, such large books, large text, tomes of words, and a number pattern of skipping words. And that would easily result in understandable sentences and phrasing. And then from there, we as humans, we always seem to be searching for patterns in just about anything and looking for the meanings in that. Well, of course, we're going to interpret those Bible codes as predictions or whatever. My point is, all this shit, maths, numbers, religion, numerology, it's all made up. It's all man-made bullshit. Hell, language itself is made up. Uma Sagana Privet Suka Sapun Pa Mwa 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 Mwa. See? I could have been speaking words, or I could have been speaking gibberish. You don't know, and I don't know. My point is, all this shit is made up. But if it works for you, if you believe in it, if it helps you get through this bullshit that we call life, then who am I to judge? Do your yoga, say your prayers, eat your vitamins, like Hulk Hogan said. Play with toys, practice numerology or sacred geometry, whatever you do it. And don't listen to jackasses like me on the internet. Be exactly who you want to be. Do what you want to do. Just don't use your beliefs or lack of beliefs to justify being a bigoted asshole. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is numerology in a nutshell. It's bullshit unless you believe it. Then it's not bullshit. And with that, I'll say thanks for tuning in. God bless. Hail Santa.
The Only News That Matters is a production of the Children's Television Workshop. Promotional consideration provided by Houghton Mifflin Math Books. We got you for as long as you're taking math classes. Houghton Mifflin. We're not a cult. Don't question us. Buy our expensive ass books. And buy viewers like you. Thank you.